Hello there, my Scorpio gang here at Enchanted Emerald. This is Melissa bringing you your monthly reading for October 2021. As we get started here, as always, if you haven't yet hit that subscribe button below, please do so, that red subscribe button. And of course, the bell so that you're in the know of all of the content as is released. And as always, I use the traditional Rider-Waite deck, so that's my go-to deck. So stepping into your energy here, first and foremost, for the beginning of October, we have for the 1st through the 9th, we have the 10 of Swords, end of a cycle. Now, this really wanted to come out in the reverse, so, and then it was really kind of more so in the upright, okay? So it came out in the upright, and it flipped because it like fell and slid across the desk, and so there you go. The 10 of Swords though, so for those that are into technicalities, we have the Wheel of Fortune for the 1st through the 9th as well. And then rounding out that week, of course, we have the King of Pentacles, and that one comes out accompanied with the 8 of Swords. So King of Pentacles comes out with the 8 of Swords together. Okay, so really what I feel for this first week for you, Scorpio, is that somebody is in your area kind of throwing some shade to you. Now, there's times where they're outright savage and they say things to you that are downright rude, and it's overt, and you understand what they're doing, and you're really bothered by it, and you're holding your contempt, you are holding your temper, and, holding your own in terms of keeping your cool. But I feel at other times they're very subtle, right? Where they're sometimes just saying things under their breath. They're being very sly about it, and almost to the point where they're so sly, they'll say things almost in passing maybe, and then it's like, you're like, huh? After the fact, and then you're like, dang, I could have had like a really good comeback for that one. So it's like you think about it after the fact, and then you're like, man, that was like a slow burn. And so you get really upset by that maybe as well, and you realize it after the fact. So I feel as though, yes, of course, this is super unpleasant for you. You find this, really upsetting, and I feel as though you understand that this person isn't coming from a place of, they don't mean well by you. And in fact, you feel like this smells terrible, like it reeks of desperation, right? Their actions reek of desperation. And I feel like this person would go to great lengths to maybe destroy your reputation, talk about you behind your back to other people, really try to get other people to be on their side, to be against you. I don't feel like they're succeeding at that. And so just so you know, when they're talking about you behind your back, other people are kind of standing up for you as well. And so understand that that's not working to their benefit. So I hear like bridge over troubled water. What I see with that though is like the raging water, like there's so much turmoil and troubled emotions maybe within this person, and so it's your job maybe to take some action to kind of build that bridge over that troubled emotion, right? To help to soothe their emotions, because they've been through a lot in their life. And so, I feel as though you have to take that first step to start to build that bridge over that, and then they'll kind of meet you halfway. I think it's a bit of a bruised ego issue with them. And so where you might be with that 8 of Swords kind of sitting in depths of despair in terms of like allowing it to really eat at you, man, I can't believe they're doing this to me. Why are they doing this to me? They are not giving it a second thought what they're doing to you. In fact, it's mostly a defense mechanism maybe that they have developed over the years. And so this is just a pattern that they've just seen and they have repeated. It's a learned behavior for them. This is just something that's normal. And so maybe you just have to kind of point out to them that like, hey, I don't know if you understand that you're being passive aggressive, but that kind of hurts my feelings. And so you have to take an action. You can't just sit and allow things to kind of like smooth over or hope that they will pass over. You have to implement some sort of a boundary with this person, that this is not okay, and understand that this is something that you can work through and build a healthy boundary with this person. I feel like that there will be an ending to this cycle, a conclusion to that. This person, I feel like they will come to you and talk to you about that if you extend that invitation, that, hey, I'd really like to talk with you, maybe in private about something if you have a few minutes of time. And I feel like with this, so that depths of despair, that's like you're either sitting in this, like, it's not fair, why are they doing this to me, that depths of despair, or you're channeling this into something that's for the greater good, not just for your greater good and building that healthy boundary and healthy relationship, but teaching this other person how to do that as well. Because ultimately this person is really, quite frankly, intimidated by you and your energy, and that's why they're doing these things. And so, hey, man, you're a legend, so teach them how to be a legend, right? And so, I feel like this person will warm up to you, and instead of seeing you as a danger, they will see you as someone that you can, that they can befriend. And so then it will start to build that bridge over that troubled water, and you will get over it and through it. Probably over it, right? Because you walk over the bridge, you don't walk through it. So you won't have to go through all of those hard emotions. You can kind of just get past it, okay? Moving into the 10th through the 16th, we have the Two of Swords that comes out with the Ace of Swords. These two came out together. Midweek, we have the Six of Wands, and then ending out the week of the 16th, we have the Devil card, okay? So with this, I really feel, say what you will, right? I feel like there's not going to be any doubt in your mind at the end of this week. You will ultimately continue to defend your position, defend your honor. I feel like you're going to have to you might be defensive about something that keeps arising, but you're not going to bet an eye doing that, right? You're going to continue to stand your ground. You're going to continue to stand in your truth, and you have no problem doing that, and you will be victorious doing that. I do feel like it's not going to be easy initially. I feel like you're going to get a lot of kickback from people in terms of it's going to get worse before it gets better. In fact, when you stand in your truth, you might get more and more people coming to you and maybe, kind of challenging you or your beliefs or, what it is that you're standing up about. But I feel like after that, it's like others are kind of blind to see your position, but like as you stand in your truth more and more, they kind of find that like very noble, and they start to maybe take their blindfold off of it, like, wow, this person is really standing in their truth about this. Like, they're so firm in that understanding and in that truth about that. I really want to see things from their viewpoint, and they might be more open to hearing your viewpoint. In fact, they might come to you and ask you more questions about it rather than being argumentative or taking the opposite, making it a debate, and having you to, be in a position where you have to defend yourself regarding your viewpoint, okay? So I think that's awesome. I do feel like you're going to have to be steady about that. You're going to have to continue to stand your ground in that. And again, I feel like with that, I feel like you might even unite. Somebody might even unite with you in terms of like lending you a hand or a steady hand, a guiding hand, a helping hand, right? And something with that hand, right? Like it's almost like Spirit shows me, like rock, paper, scissors when you do the rock. It's like this. This is what they're showing me. So it's like this, but they're extending their hand. So like, maybe they're proud of you even, right? Like hit the rock. Yeah, cool. So really something like that is what I'm seeing with that. I feel like also this week, there could be something around signs for you, and specifically for a person out there, I feel like there could be a sign of jewelry. Okay, so with this jewelry, this could be, something that you wear around your neck. And I feel that this is something that's related to your past, tied to your past with that Devil card, okay? That needs to be cleansed because it's carrying an energy with it that it isn't a great energy. It's something from the past that you are very reminiscent about, and something that you find very comforting and soothing to your heart. But the energy that's tied to that person from the past I don't want to say that they have ill will toward you. I just feel like their energy is attached to that, and it's something that you've worked really hard to maybe shed or let go of. And so when you wear that, it kind of brings that energy back into your energy field. And so it would serve you well to cleanse that, whether you cleanse that with sage smoke, or whether you actually cleanse it with Palo Santo, or you put it through have a diffuser with some sage in it, essential oil, and then put it through that smoke or something like that. So cleansing it, put under the moonlight, burying it in the earth, however that resonates for you to cleanse that. I think that would be very beneficial for you, because that Devil card comes out this week and it really trips you up a bit, okay? In terms of something that from the past, that it can get you hung up sometimes, right? I feel like when you get reminiscent about that, it puts you in a funk, so to speak, energetically. It gets you a little bit sad, and you'll sit in that energy for a little bit before you knock yourself back out of that, okay? And what that does is it can bring up even old patterns that you had from that time period that you've worked so hard to get yourself out of. I think that when you're sitting in that energy, you have a tendency maybe to react in a way that you used to, because you're thinking about those things. And so I think that with that, cleansing that can help to really prevent bringing that back into your energy and your space, okay? And if you feel called to maybe get rid of that jewelry, that's okay as well. But if you feel inclined to keep that for sentimental reasons, that's okay. But if it's bringing you, when you have that sentimental reasons, some of the reminiscence that brings sadness, I'm not certain that that's serving you well. So that's something that you'll have to make that decision for yourself, okay? But I do feel, overall this week, the 10th through the 16th for you, Scorpio, is good. I feel, like an Ace of Diamonds type feel, right? Like this new perspective with that Ace of Swords is going to be coming in, particularly in your overall outlook on life, okay? I feel like quick changes are afoot, provided by way of dreams, provided by way of maybe a conversation with a friend. Maybe you're really, really feeling a set of lyrics in a song and you want to listen to it over and over and over again because you're feeling some type of way and it's helping you to release some emotions. Or whether you read a passage in a book and it just hits you right and it feels deep to you, so I really feel like it's really important for you this week to just be mindful of how you're feeling as you're moving through some of that. Or if you remember your dreams, writing them down as soon as you wake up to remember them, so that you can go back and sit and think about like what colors and how you felt in that dream and what it might mean to you. Because I feel like these new perspectives and new outlooks will usher you into a whole new era if you are open to it and you're allowing it. So just be mindful of that. I think it will give you some clues. Some of these dreams and things will be giving you some clues as to where you're going, what path that you will be taking. And so it'll be interesting for you to see that if you are open to those things. So moving into the 17th through the 23rd, Scorpio, we have the Queen of Swords comes out with the Death card, which I think is not a bad thing. It looks a little scary there, but it can just mean some transformation, especially coming out with that Queen of Swords. I love the Queen of Swords too. It's about cutting things out that just, don't belong anymore because you've grown, you've evolved, and I love it. So they come out together. And then we have the Chariot this week, the 17th through the 23rd. And then rounding out the week, the 23rd, we have the Strength card coming out with the Three of Wands. The Strength and the Three of Wands. They came out together. And I love that beautiful Strength card, right? With the lioness, right? So, okay, so I really feel with this week, Scorpio, we have, a bit of a blame game going on. I feel as though there's something maybe that you are blaming somebody for, or, where the situation has kind of been reversed, where somebody is blaming you now for the situation, right? So I feel like there's kind of like some back and forth happening, where like if the situation was reversed, you might feel like I wouldn't have done that, but yet this person is still blaming you for that. And so I feel like there's a little bit of a bad blood happening, right? Where there's some resentment happening, between the two of you. And I feel overall this has you feeling a little bit hopeless, right? Where you're feeling like totally blocked from things in life. Like someone took your joy, right? And someone is keeping something from you, and for selfish reasons, really, nonetheless. And so the word estranged even came through, so that could be for one particular Scorpio out there, where you're feeling alienated, completely left wondering why did this happen, how did it get to this point. And so what Spirit is saying is this is an isolated incident. And so where sometimes you try not to think about things, you kind of bury your feelings. Other times you're totally stereotyping and making generalizations about everything in your life and correlating it to this event, right? And so it's leading you down this path of destruction, right? Because it's holding you back now when you're making that stereotype about a certain category of people in your life or a certain category of circumstances in your life, and you're relating it back to this now because you have these feelings stuffed down inside that you haven't really dealt with. And so you're holding this image in your mind, though, and it kind of like re-traumatizes you every time. And so it's an incident that is not related to anything that's happening in your life right now. However, I will say that when you have unresolved feelings, until you show Spirit that you've learned that lesson, some of these circumstances will continue to show up in your life until you're making different decisions or different moves, right? To change that dynamic, to grow, to evolve, to attract different and better experiences, right? So there's a little bit of a catch-22 there. Now, I do feel like it's something that you will have to muster that strength and that courage to overcome, to start making different choices, to start to confront some of those feelings so that you can move forward from that, and understanding that that's an isolated incident that hurt my feelings, dealing with that hurt, releasing that hurt, allowing yourself to grieve, and then new circumstances when they present, you'll know that's not for me. Or when some of those same thought patterns arise, that when you're feeling like you're stereotyping that situation or that person, you'll recognize that's not true, because that's not the same thing as what happened to me in the past. So it really boils down to that forgiveness, which was very, very much your theme for the month, was forgiveness. And so really tapping into that well of forgiveness for that situation, for yourself, and for your future self, right? Moving into the 24th through the 31st, we have the Two of Pentacles with the Five of Swords, some conflict there, right? And the Queen of Pentacles. So beautiful energy to round out this month for you here, Scorpio. I really feel with this week, Scorpio, that you've caught a glimpse of the life that you would like, or the life that you could have, and you're feeling like, gosh, what would it be like for that to be here, for me to be in that position today or tomorrow? And I feel like what it boils down to is you need to make that choice for yourself. And it could just be making the choice for yourself to tear down that emotional wall that you've built up after all of these years, or a literal wall, right? Maybe you're tearing down a literal wall to break yourself free, right? Where you're moving, or some physical limitations that you've had. You're overcoming these physical limitations. Maybe you're breaking financial barriers, right? Where you're putting yourself into a position where you're making more money because now you've finished school, or something to that effect. You're breaking that physical limitation to break yourself free. But breaking down that wall, whether that's your thoughts keeping you stuck, where you're like that overgeneralization, where you're stereotyping, right? challenging those thoughts to overcome that, to attract different and better, right? So that's another physical one, right? Or that emotional wall where you're starting to allow some of those feelings to surface, to deal with them from the past and allow yourself to forgive yourself and grieve, right? And, you have to know, number one, with that Queen of Pentacles, that you are worth it. So you have to feel that you're worth it. So you have to work on some of those self-esteem things, right? And if you need to, you might not need to. You might feel like, yeah, I'm worth it. But maybe your thing is you have to know that it will be worth it, right? Doing all of that inner work and all of that doing all of that process, you have to know that coming out on the other side of that will be worth it, right? And it's a lot of work, and it's not easy work when you do shadow work or when you do any of this healing work, right? But you'll have to go about it, Spirit says, in a very methodical way, right? Where you have to plan for it, you organize for it, and you really understand that, listen, this isn't your first rodeo. You've grieved over things before. You'll grieve over things again. It isn't going to be the end-all, be-all. You've been through some hardships. You'll go through hardships again, right? But you'll still come out standing in your beautiful Queen of Pentacles self on the other side of it. You're not even standing, but sitting on your throne and knowing your worth, right? You'll grow through these things and understanding that you have to extend yourself some compassion sometimes. The compassion that we give others so freely, we must also give to ourselves, okay? So just be patient with yourself and understand that this healing process for you, it will go off without a hitch. We just have to believe that too. And so just take that one step at a time. Overall advice, of course, Scorpio, for the month is King of Cups. And so with this King of Cups, there will be circumstances, of course, that will be out of your control, Scorpio. But you will be the calm within the storm. And that's really what comes with this King of Cups. And, you're going to be leaving the past in the past. And understanding here, I get the lyrics. I'm not sure who sings that song, but you have to search your heart and search your soul, and you'll find yourself within yourself and understand that you are your safety net. You are your safe space. You are your safe place. And so you have everything that you need within you to overcome all of these things, all of these circumstances, all of these hardships. And it's a beautiful process as it unfolds. And I see like a butterfly, this beautiful transformation from this cocoon into this beautiful butterfly with wings and lots of pretty colors and flying light and free, right? Because as you let go of some of those things from the past, you become more light and you fly. You fly higher and higher, and you fly freely, right? And so I love that so much for you, Scorpio. I do so hope that this resonates for you. Of course, as always, not all general readings can resonate for everybody, so take what resonates, leave the rest. If you're interested in your own personal reading, I'd love to be able to do that for you. You can hit me up at the Square site here on YouTube in the description box below. And as always, I will be back with another read for you guys again soon. Thank you so much. Take care.